what I could see through the windshield was that he was slumped over. So I fell to my knees and I started screaming. Come on, my baby.
She says there were no emergency vehicles at the scene when she arrived.
We spoke with Campbell's family and their attorney about what happened.
And I feel like if they would have made it, he probably would have survived.
It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
It was me that had to try to perform CPR on my husband in a pool of blood.
Once again, L1 to Woodstock Ambulance Duty Crew, respond for net female fallen, unable to ambulate. The Robbins River, 11 Chester's Place. Repeating to Woodstock Ambulance Duty Crew.
Today, we will be heading up to Colorado Springs, Colorado. Colorado Springs is the second most populous city in the state of Colorado by land. At 635 feet, the city stands over 1 mile above sea level. Colorado Springs is near the base of Pikes Peak, which rises 14,115 feet above sea level on the eastern edge of the southern Rocky Mountains. The city is the largest city north of Mexico, above 6,000 feet in elevation. Colorado Springs, a front range city in Colorado, is best known for its natural beauty and world-class outdoor recreation. A family from Georgia would make the move to Colorado Springs in July 2022. The Campbell family, a husband, wife, and their 2 daughters. Life was beautiful for the family of 4, and the sky was the limit. However, on Friday, June 2nd, 2023, Talia Campbell and her 2 daughters' lives would change forever. Her husband, Quaylen Campbell, was at work and was on his lunch break when something unexpected took place. Quaylen was inside his work vehicle, and at some point, a stranger would hop in out of nowhere and take him hostage at gunpoint. Quaylen would secretly take his phone and at some point take a picture of the stranger and send an emergency alert to his wife, Talia. The message said, 911, send please. And his wife responded, what's wrong? What do you need me to do? Send your location again. During this time, she would call the police and let them know that her husband needed help and he was in a hostage situation. The police station was less than a half a mile away and Talia was about an hour away from her husband's location. She would head to where Quaylen was, and when she got to the location an hour later, she saw no police. She saw her husband's company vehicle in a parking lot between a Taco Bell and a Wendy's and could see her husband slumped over in the driver's seat. He had been shot minutes before. His wife would check his pulse, and this poor lady had to perform CPR on her unresponsive husband in a pool of blood. Because her husband was bigger in stature, she wasn't able to get him out, so her uncle, who was with her, was able to help get him out of the car so she could try life-saving measures.
I think somebody could have helped him. Nobody showed up. Nobody deserves that.
Family is seeking justice for Quaylen Campbell, a Noonan native who was killed in Colorado. A man got into his car, shot Campbell, then himself. Police never responded to his wife's 911 calls after his text that he was in trouble. The family wants to know why no officers came to help. Today, his wife's going to have a press conference in Colorado. 11 Live's Molly Oak is joining us with more on the case. Molly, you call 911, you expect a response. What are police saying about it?
Cheryl, police told the family they're investigating that lack of response right now. Meanwhile, the family is trying to figure out why someone would want to kill the man they call a gentle giant. It happened on Friday. Quaylen Campbell was driving on a busy stretch of road in Colorado Springs where he now lives. Then he texted a picture to his wife showing a gunman jumped in the passenger seat with a text saying 911. She called police and started driving toward her husband. It took her more than 45 minutes to get to him.
The strange man was in the passenger seat, unalived from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He's said to be known as a homeless man. The police only came when they got a call for a shooting. Quaylen sadly passed away after 2 p.m. on Friday, June 2nd. Talia and Quaylen shared a beautiful love story and were married for 7 years. She and their 2 daughters relied on Quaylen to provide for the family. His family are having to cope with the untimely and unexpected unaliving of a husband, father, and provider. Originally from Newman, Georgia, Quaylen was a member of Phi Beta Sigma fraternity and was very active in his community. His heart for others was selfless, and his commitment to serve others was unmatched. Again, the area where Quaylen was at when he was found unalive by his wife was only located about a mile from a police station. If they could have got there in just a couple of minutes, it possibly could have prevented Quaylen's unaliving.
Quaylen Campbell was at work last Friday when he sent his wife a text message of a photo of an unknown man.
Following the picture were the words, 911, please send help.
She called 911 and said her husband was being held hostage.
I gave them the exact address because he was able to provide me the location. I gave them the description of the man because I can clearly see it in the picture.
Talia says she grew frustrated with the lack of urgency that she sensed on the other end of the line, so she drove 40 minutes to the location Quaylen gave her. She saw his car and immediately jumped out and ran to him.
What I could see through the windshield was that he was slumped over. So I fell to my knees and I started screaming.
She says there were no emergency vehicles at the scene when she arrived. Another man, later identified as David Carrolls, was also in the car with a gun in his lap. She said people were afraid to help, so she opened the car door to check on Quaylen.
And I put my fingers on his neck. I couldn't feel anything. I put my fingers on his wrist. I still couldn't feel anything. So my uncle was the only one that was big enough to help pull him out of the car in a pool of blood. It was me that had to try to perform CPR on my husband in a pool of blood.
No one should call law enforcement a hostage situation and it take over a damn hour to respond.
Attorney Harry Daniels is representing the family. They filed an open records request with the city Wednesday.
We want to know how many officers was available, how many officers was working that day, what calls took precedent. I understand that President Biden was here there before and provided protection. I'm sure they had a mass response to make sure he was protected, which we understand. But Quaylen life matters also.
They've also requested the 911 calls Talia made and plan to release them to the public.
We're going to seek every legal justice for this family. If that means filing a lawsuit, invoking the Department of Justice, an outside agency to do an investigation, because currently Colorado Springs Police Department investigate themselves. I don't trust folks investigate themselves.
Quaylen and Talia Campbell had moved to Colorado Springs from Georgia last summer. The two have two daughters, ages 4 and 14.
Quaylen's family is devastated and will have to pull together to face the tragedy and deal with the emotional, physical, and financial effects from him being unexpectedly taken from them. Quaylen was a loving husband, dedicated father, son, brother, and employee. In regards to the person who caused the unaliving, police would identify him as 44-year-old David Carrolls. Police confirmed the incident is being investigated as a murder-side. The Colorado Springs Police Department issued the following statement. The loss of Quaylen Campbell is a tragedy. Condolences goes out to Mr. Campbell's family, who we know are suffering greatly. Our top priority is to provide them with the answers. The statement continues. We are aware there's information circulating about the case, and we understand the concerns and questions that arise as a result. We will continue to gather all relevant details about Mr. Campbell's unaliving and ensure the accuracy of our findings. While we recognize that many members of the community are eager for immediate information, it is our duty to provide the victim's family with support and share the details of what we have learned with them before making any public announcement. We appreciate your patience and understanding. Quaylen's wife said that the 911 dispatcher did not have a sense of concern or urgency in the matter, and that was another reason she jumped in the car to find out what was going on so quickly. Talia said her husband was the most selfless man, and she was very blessed. This family truly needs support in this difficult time because Quaylen was the provider for his family, so there was a GoFundMe started to help in any way. The family appreciates all the kindness. A donation and one share will aid the family in meeting their obligations and adjust to life without an incredible husband and father. I feel extremely bad for his wife, who had to see her husband in such a way. Why did the police not respond to the call? Why did she make it before the cops an hour later, even after gunshot calls? It seems that people are getting more and more outrageous with crimes And to just jump in a random person's car and unalive that person, then yourself, for no reason is beyond sad. And to think, a year ago, the Campbell family did not even live in Colorado. My deepest thoughts and prayers are with the family in this traumatic time. And so please comment your thoughts and prayers for this family in this difficult time, and hit that like button to share to make your people aware. And remember to stay woke. Things change quickly.